We just had a nice meeting, and by we, I mean me and a bunch of Destiny creators. We had a nice meeting with Bungie, and I got a bunch of information about the final shape, what's to come between now and the final shape. Friends, there is a new release date for the final shape. It is 100% official. It is now June 4th. They have pushed back the final shape from February until June 4th. It is 100% official. We have the actual day itself. There you go, my friends. The official release date for Final Shape has been moved to June 4th, 2024 to allow for an even bigger and bolder vision. New content available is also in development, including Destiny 2 Into the Light, a 2-month content update for all players starting in April. So there's your official post. So basically, I spent the last hour with a bunch of other Destiny creators just listening to Joe Blackburn and other people from Bungie kind of talk to us about Destiny 2 and what it's going to look like over the next year or so, and they gave us a pretty good amount of information. This is all official, what I'm telling you. This isn't speculation. This is all 100% official. The reason for the delay was very simple. They gave us the reason. It's probably what you would expect. They simply needed more time to hit the bar that they expect. They have a very high bar for the final shape, and they did not see themselves having enough calendar months to hit that bar, and as a result of that, they had to push it back just a little bit. Apparently there's a video from Joe as well. Let's go watch that video. I was just talking to that man for an hour. It's weird that there'd be a video. Okay, here, we'll watch this video together, even though my guess is this is all stuff that I already pretty much know. I guarantee you, in fact, that I know, but let's watch it together anyway.
Joe Blackburn, the game director for Destiny 2. I'm sure with the announcement today that the final shape is coming out on June 4th, there are a lot of questions on, hey, what's the team working on? What's the content that's coming out before June? So I wanted to step by down here in the stream room today and drop by with some classic Joe handwritten notes.
I got notes as well, baby.
What we're doing between now and June. I think this is going to be a pretty short video, so I want to get right into it. Let's start with the obvious stuff.
I wonder if he gives information
Tomorrow, Season of the Wish
don't
launches.
have.
We're super excited, not only about the story and the content of this season, but how it's going to roll into the final shape. So I hope the small army of you out there with your Last Wish raid jackets are wearing them with pride. I know I will be. Then, on Friday,
hey, chat, do you know I was
we've
in a
got
meeting?
Warlord's Ruin. It's a new dungeon coming to Destiny 2 that I would love to talk to you all about, but because I'm at the studio, I'm like a little worried that someone from the Raid and Dungeon team is going to hear me and like come barreling through the door. So we'll let you all see that for yourselves. Speaking of group content, let's talk Fireteam Finder real quick. Recently, we put out some messaging on how Fireteam Finder is going to roll out. I just wanted to give a little more context here. I don't think this is hyperbole when I say I think Fireteam Finder is going to change the way so many of you interact with Destiny 2 on a day-to-day basis. That being said, it's a pretty big technical change to the game. So I want to be really careful with how we roll this out. We're going to be doing limited windows with limited activities to start. This is going to allow us to collect the data we need, take it on, see how server stability is affected, take it off, make changes, and then roll it out better and better each time. Ultimately, what we're going to be working towards is a version of Fireteam Finder that you can use for raids, dungeons, strikes, PvP, whatever you want that needs a group in the new year and right before the final shape. PvP. So last time we talked a bunch about PvP. I just wanted to give an update on where we are. We've got a Crucible Labs mode that we've been experimenting a lot with called Checkmate. We're going to do 2 things with Checkmate this year. We're going to take Checkmate and put it onto the core Crucible playlists. It's going to be like 6v6 control unranked. We want to see how the Checkmate rules that we've been experimenting with interact with a larger Crucible ecosystem. But ultimately, what we're trying to do with Checkmate is not create a 3rd or a 4th way to play the game. Checkmate is all about a more deliberate Crucible. So we want to take the rule changes for Checkmate, be this slower ability recharge rate, or different rules around special ammo. We want to find the stuff that's working, and we want to start porting those rule changes over into the core Destiny 2 Crucible. This is about creating a Crucible that is more strategic, is more focused on your guns, and is more focused on the loadout that you're bringing in to fight with. Speaking of Crucible, let's talk maps.
Yeah, let's talk maps.
So not only do we have the Citadel coming to Destiny 2 this week, we also are still cranking out maps for the map pack that we talked about earlier this year. This is going to be coming out in the new year all at once. We've got 3 maps, one on Europa, one on Neomuna, and one on the Terraformed Pyramid. I actually got a chance to play test these again yesterday. I'm really excited about all of them. I think I did the best on the Europa map, but right now I think Neomuna is trending to be the sort of internal favorite. really excited to see how all these get built and continued over development. Really excited for them to get in your hand. They're all sort of Jav 4 size. So we know we've been putting out a lot of larger maps. We want to put out maps that are going to be able to really excel in modes like Trial of Osiris and the competitive playlist to really balance out both these larger experiences and more, close quarters experiences as well.
Thank you.
Ultimately, this is not everything that we're doing in PvP, so keep your ear out for socials. We're trying to make sure that the Destiny 2 Crucible is built for those folks that love to log on and play Destiny PvP every single day. I think the big question in everyone's mind is Season of the Wish content is going to roll out. Talk to me about February.
It is a 7-month season, chat.
So starting in February, we're going to be rolling out more content that's available to anyone who plays Destiny 2. It's going to start slow in February with things like Moments of Triumph and a series of progression, reward-centric weekly quests we're calling wishes. I'll let the folks on Reddit theorize on what they think these wishes could be. Then in March, we're going to be pulling Guardian games in, and this year it's got a revitalized focus on this sort of class v class competition that we think really is going to accelerate the creative and the excitement around the event. But ultimately, we're trying to get towards April and May. We're going to be talking about a new period of Destiny we're calling Destiny 2 Into the Light. Now, as we get closer to Into the Light, we're going to be talking more about it in the new year. But this is really built not only for the folks that have played Destiny for 5,000 hours, but also for your friends, for your family, for people that are just getting into Destiny and want to prepare for the final shape. We're really excited about the content and rewards that are coming in this. So please stay tuned. We'll be talking more about what's happening in these sort of 2 months before the final shape as we get closer to them.
It will be free,
All of that aside, what most of the team is working on right now is what's coming out in June, the final shape. We know there are high expectations for the way that we're going to put a bow on this 10-year saga of Destiny 2. We know that y'all are expecting awesome, gorgeous new locations, a bunch of new stuff to fight, and a bunch of new ways to fight it. All alongside a story that has to stand side by side with some of the best stories our studio has ever told. I'm gonna be honest. We've been holding some cards close to our chest on this one. And I'm gonna ask that you bear with us for a little bit longer, because we think a bunch of the systems and the gameplay that we want to talk about are things that you need to see, not just hear. So in April, when we come back with gameplay from the final shape, we want the game to speak for itself. All right, I promised I wouldn't take as long this time. I've got a bunch of play tests to run to. So thanks so much for spending some time with me this morning. I am going to see all of y'all this week in Season of the Wish.
Yeah, new season
Thanks
tomorrow.
again. Bye.
Bye, Joe. All right. I have other little details too. Were you able to provide feedback? Not really. There were about 30 other streamers there. It was like 30 streamers and YouTubers, and then Bungie talking to us about it. So there was a little bit of Q&A, a little bit, but we weren't really able to dive in depth at all. I think they just wanted to allow us creators an opportunity to ask questions that video we just watched didn't answer. So that way we can maybe get a little bit more clarification. They want to be really clear with their comms with the community right now. That's what they want to do. So they released that video. That's one step to being clear with their community. But if they have an hour-long conversation with DeFizzle and with me and people like that, then we can maybe provide even more insight for our communities to just try to be even more transparent. I sort of think that we're a little bit, like Fizzle, you and I think we're a little bit of pawns at the moment in Bungie's game. We're sort of being used to help clear the communications for them. Like we are their pawns helping answer questions from our community and describe a little bit more detail that maybe we picked up on in that 1 hour meeting that people might be curious about. I'm trying to think of what else I learned that's important. So they talked about how in April and May, there's something called Into the Light. They're trying really hard to make this 6-month season still not feel like a long drag. They've got something in February that's coming out called Moments of Triumph, then Riven Wishes. So you got your Moments of Triumph, you got Riven Wishes. Then in March, we got Guardian games, and in April and May, we got Into the Light. This sounds like it's really cool. Into the Light, they were really excited about, saying it's content for everybody, whether you're a brand new player or somebody who's put like 5,000 hours in. Into the Light sounds like whatever it is going to be really fun. And the important thing about Into the Light, that's when the maps come out. It's not final shape that the maps come out. Maps come out next season, chat. Into the Light, April and May, that's when we get our brand new Neomuna map, our brand new Europa map, our brand new Pyramid map. Those things are happening pre-final shape. They're happening April and May during their little 2-month, whatever it might mean, the Into the Light content. It's cool that we get to play those maps before the final shape. I don't think I clarified whether or not the maps are free. However, they did say Into the Light is free. So when they told us Into the Light is free, and they told us the maps are coming out in Into the Light, so that tells me that the maps are most likely free. Don't take that as 100% fact. I did not get that clear answer that the maps are free, but I think we can be pretty confident they are. Also, they're of Jav 4 size. You heard him talk about that. The last 2 maps they've given us have been gigantic maps, Disjunction and I forget the other, Multiplex. They're huge. So huge that Multiplex had sparrows accidentally. These maps are supposed to be much more like trials friendly, much more competitive friendly. They're supposed to be Jav 4 size. Obviously, we don't know if they'll be as fun or as cool as Jav 4 is, but they're supposed to be able to allow you better close quarter combat and not all these crazy long ranges and whatnot. There will not be power grinds during seasons and episodes, it doesn't seem like, but I think there's going to be, it sounds like maybe one last one. They didn't clarify this. I was trying to read between the lines a little bit. It kind of sounds like there's going to be one final power grind this June. And they said that they've changed a lot about how it will work. I believe we are grinding power again come final shape, come June 4th. And that it is a very different system than how it used to be, but it is still a power grind. There's no power grind tomorrow. There hasn't been a power grind in seasons for a long time, but for the big DLC, there is indeed going to be a power grind. Curious if you guys have any specific questions. I did ask one question about Iron Banner, and I did get a specific answer. So we have a 6+ month season, and they said nothing about Iron Banner. I asked about it, and they gave me information. So here we go, chat. I can officially tell you that there will be 5 Iron Banners next season. It's not 3, it's not 7 or 6, it's 5. There's gonna be 3 like normal, and then they said they're gonna put 2 in to sort of fill the gaps. People are losing their mind. Dudes, it's 1 a month is how it's always been. We get 3 every season. They're 3-month seasons. We don't have the dates yet, Kels, but I did ask for them, and Andy made it pretty clear that he would try to get me information about that soon. It's 5 Iron Banners over just over 6.5 months. So it's less than 1 Iron Banner per month, but it's still close to the same frequency that we currently get it. Newberry says it should be 0. Hey, as much as I might agree with you, bro, I'm just bringing you information right now. I'm not trying to fight things. 5 and 6.5 months is better than 6 or 7. Another piece of news, which I do find interesting, Andy is the new lead between, he's kind of the in-between guy between Bungie and creators. He wants to be there for us, to ask questions to have conversations with. And I don't know how beneficial this will be, but he is creating a Discord for some very, very selective, a few of their YouTubers and streamers who they think are mature, who they think are dedicated to the game, and who they want to be there for. So we're going to have a Discord. I'm going to have a Discord with a few other streamers, like DeFizzle will be in there, where we can directly go to Bungie for questions. I'm not saying I can just be like, hey, Bungie, tell me about the final shape. They're gonna be like, no. But if like some game-breaking thing's happening, I'm gonna have like a link to somebody that I can discuss with or ask things to. Will Cross be in there? Cross will be in there. A lot of YouTubers and streamers will be in there. But it just means that Andy's doing his best to stop this, let's go Second Life. I'm not gonna answer who's in there and who's not in there, because I don't know every individual. The point of what I'm trying to say is, that sounds dangerous. I don't think it's dangerous at all. Currently, believe it or not, I don't have some weird link to Bungie. Currently, it's very difficult to get any important information to Bungie. There's nothing I can do to get their attention for things. So they're just trying to give us a way to actually communicate when necessary. That's all. They're not going to give us all the secret information and disclose all this crazy shit that we have to, you know, jerk each other off and say we're all the egotistical bastards we are or whatever. They're not doing anything like that. It's just they're providing a place where we can actually have a link, because that's never existed, and it's definitely been necessary for a long time. I mean, imagine some dude named GernaderJake flying around the map, killing people instantaneously with sidearms every single round in trials, calling people the N-word every time they can, and them existing for 2 weeks. That's not good for me. Now I'm going to actually have an opportunity to be like, hey, Bungie, there's a dude named GernaderJake cheating right now, calling everybody the N-word. Can we do something? You know, instead of waiting 2 or 3 weeks because I don't have a connection with Bungie and just have to report and wait there might actually be a means to do something about like the really, really necessary stuff. Anyway, did they speak about anything post the final shape? They talked about episodes, but there wasn't necessarily anything important enough to talk to you about. Like, the stuff they did talk about with episodes didn't mean anything to me. It was like, they're mostly going to be 4 months. That's to allow for enough time for them to be actually good content. I didn't really get information about whether like there's going to be game-breaking stuff that happens during these things. I don't think there will be. They didn't say. But I kind of think big DLCs are kind of done with after the final shape. Chat, I feel like I'm about to kind of just like wrap up this conversation though, because I'm not sure there's anything else that we need to discuss. Like Joe Blackburn gave you the video that really had the information you need for what's happening in Destiny 2. Those things are the final shape's officially pushed back to June 4th. There's 3 maps coming out. One is Europa, one is Neomuna, one is a pyramid map. Those are coming out before final shape in April through May during a period called Into the Light, which is a very cool 2-month content period that they're not telling us much about, but they're telling us that whether you're new or whether you have 5,000 hours in the game, it's going to be something everybody enjoys. February's got Moments of Triumphs and something called Riven's Wishes. We don't know what those are yet. We'll find out. March has Guardian games. There's going to be a Power Grind and Final Shape. There's going to be 5 Iron Banners next season. They've told us that. Is that everything wrapped up? I think that's everything wrapped up. I can't think of any other piece of information that I found important to let you guys know.